Yeah. Look out your window. Knicks fans is on your block. Y'all know the Knicks run the city. Pull them shades back. Look out your window. Look down there on the block. That's Knicks fans right there. It's about that time. It's about that time of the week where you get ready for your work week with the man that is so smooth he does not require a chaser. Your main man, the real, still the real Anthony D. And your main man, Jersey's finest, the hood representative, Uncle Freezie.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one chief rocker, Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezie. I'm joined by the man that is so smooth, he does not require a chaser. It's Anthony D in the building. Salute all the old heads. All the old heads, get ready.
We here, baby. We here.
Yes. Get ready. Ready. Yeah, man.
Out this morning. Salute Knicks fans. Good morning, my brother, Uncle Freezie. How we doing? As you already see, we B.I.G. out tonight. Rest in peace to the God forever and ever. Still the greatest in my eyes and always.
Yeah, man.
Senseless violence. You know, when I put this on this morning, Freezie, the funniest thing is like when I was reaching for it, all right? And I was like, here we go. A young man struck down, not even 25.
Not even 25.
24. Senseless violence.
Senseless
violence. And I'm not going to preach to y'all today, but, you see what's going on in the world. Let's put it down. Let's stop. Let's just stop. How about that? You see somebody doing something wrong, does it? Bim.
Bim.
You know what I'm saying? Get all Jamaican with it. My youth. Bim.
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 When you say bim, you don't need to say anything else. Once somebody say bim, that's it. It's over with.
That's it.
Yeah, it's like an exclamation point. Bim.
Yeah, but we still got the music, still got the legacy. He lost. His mom passed away, I think, like 2 weeks ago, maybe like a week ago as well. So, rest in peace to the Wallace family and so forth. Yeah. The legacy it'll never go away, But that's what it is. Good morning. Who we got in the chat here? Marlon, salute, Real King, HRMX, the Great, absolutely. So where are we this morning, Uncle Freezie? Nick Land is, March.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to figure out my music.
Right. What? Are you trying to change our theme music?
No, not us. I'm trying to figure out if the Temptations are the greatest group from the 60s and 70s. Right? So I was questioned. Somebody gonna tell me, talking about the Delphonics. Now, I don't know if you're a super fan of the Delphonics, but there are a group of people that think the Delphonics are the standard. Now, you know where I sit with this. You know how I feel about the Spinners, right? Since day one when we met, you know how I feel about the Spinners. When I was saying, remember when I said two things to you when we first met. I was like, I'd take Prince and send Michael Jackson to the moon if I had to take one. Remember that? That's where we started at, right?
Yes.
We first met. Right? And then the other thing I mentioned to you is that the Temptations are overrated, and I take the Spinners over the Temptations 7 days a week. And that's what everybody thought I was being a troll when I was just being myself.
You're just being Freezie.
Yeah.
No, lost and turned out as always. Just
right. Right.
Little Olivia.
Yeah,
Love that.
I remember Olivia. Yeah.
But the Temps are just, maybe I'm biased of it because it's not my era per se, because they're alive, and doing their thing when we weren't even thoughts, but the music, it's in our households as we're growing up, and the movie just helps to make them rise. And because they, each and every actor that they picked for the parts, they just seem perfect. Like Leon, that's just Ruffin.
Yeah.
He just absolutely brings David Ruffin back to life.
Right.
And God, Eddie Kendricks.
Right. And shout out to my man Tony. Man. Tony, that is David Ruffin first. So David Ruffin is his first uncle, like legit uncle, like, you know what I'm saying?
Bigger brother, you know what I mean? But the Spinners have more hits than all of them.
Yeah, Spinners have more hits than all of them.
All of them. Like top 40 hits.
Yeah.
The Spinners.
Yeah.
And I'll say another thing for the Spinners. Every record, there's a reference to love.
Yeah.
It's like they never had a bad day.
Yeah. And they're creative. The songs don't all sound alike either. Right? They have songs that are in a certain style, a certain template, but all these songs don't sound alike. Like their first hit, I forget, the one that came out in 70. Ready or Not. Ready or Not does not sound like Rubber Band Man. You feel me? Ready or not, here I come. You know what I'm saying?
Gonna find
you.
Gonna hit that falsetto.
Yeah.
That's because, also, men were just really in love with women at that time. Not that we're not in love with women at that time, but you had a clear distinction,
right,
way back then.
Yeah,
and all of you'd have never heard a man using bitch,
right,
on the record, in
no.
public, for everybody to hear. Never. It's always like when you hear Barry White, Never Too Much When It Starts. Doo-doom, doo-doom. What the fuck are we talking about?
You knew something was, it's love, bro.
That's all it is. It's the way, how am I gonna get to my woman?
Yeah.
And for some, multiple women. But it was that was just the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was just what it was. And everything was based around relationships. Whether it's soul music, rock music, soft rock, whatever. It was, you were never getting Benny Mardone's 1980 Into the Night. Can you think he could put that record out here today? Man is singing about a 16-year-old.
Never.
I think that record is like top 5 for a good little minute.
Yeah.
And everybody's singing away. Right?
Right.
So styles and times and is different. We don't even have a group today that you could mention in any of the last 5 decades.
No.
Not a one.
Not a one.
Think about that.
Not a one.
You know what I'm saying? What was my guys that were you remember when Shy hit
Yeah, I remember that.
When it was okay to acapella
Yeah.
from some, I think, college event that some radio guy heard and was like, boom, psh, bang.
Hit. Smash.
There's no shies today.
Nah.
Where you gonna find a shy today doing pass it off to the next time, and we need closed caption to find out what you're saying.
And some stank ass rapper with a $500,000 worth, $1 million worth of jewelry in a slow song. Right.
It's just, but it's the times again. It's the times. You would never have gotten music like we have here today way back then. If you couldn't sing, they were going to help you to learn how to sing. Now it's like, you off key? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just keep on with that.
Just keep going with it. That's the style.
That's your style.
The beat way over there, you way over there. That's the style.
That's a style.
Let's go with it.
You got to make them fall. You got to make them like it. Instead of saying, put out something people like, you got to make them like, nah, man, things change. Things change.
And you can't afford to pay. There's no group that's going to be like, we're going to split this money 5 ways today.
Yeah.
We're going to split this money 7 ways today. We're going to have to pay the band after every show. You got to pay the in-session musicians.
Yeah.
The in-house musicians, you got to pay them.
Yeah.
They're not doing that today. It's just not.
Nah.
So your confusion about music, I understand.
Yeah, man. And it's a confusion about music, and it's a sense that, is it a sign of the times, or is just anything socially acceptable?
Anything is socially acceptable now.
That's what
they should take the word taboo out of the dictionary.
You don't mean them thing no more.
You don't need it anymore. They should take the word dictionary out of existence anymore, because we don't need it anymore.
Yeah, because what is diction nowadays anyway, when people create their own words every day?
Every day.
What is diction?
What is it?
Yeah, so it's that.
Everything goes. Everything goes. I said to a friend of mine a couple of months ago something about public decorum and demand. Who are you to assess public decorum?
Right.
I'm like, here's the problem. You have 2 neighbors on either side of you. And if they are carrying on any old type of way, all types of the day, any time of the night, how are you going to be satisfied? How is your mental tranquility going to be day in, day out?
Right. Yeah.
So reason why people are like, you know what, who can get up and be like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. You know, you done beat her up 1 too many times.
Yeah.
You know, we done tough. No, we not dealing with this.
Nah.
You know, things matter. But as we get older, our generation, Freezie, we're looked upon as dinosaurs because, you know, you still pull the chair out for your lady. You open the door. You get up when a pregnant woman comes on the train or whatever, the bus or whatever.
Yeah.
You still have certain things that it's now yesteryear.
Right. AD, somebody called me old school because I don't wear diamonds. Like I wear like legit, I have watches, right? I like gold watches, right? So I wear watches and whatever, stuff like that. Occasionally I wear suspenders, right? Occasionally. And you know what I'm saying? A lady called me about a month ago. I had my mother and Miss Mocha. We went to eat dinner, and a lady was laughing, like, "Hi, you walk like the junk man." It's like, the junk man.
Who? Sims?
I want like the junk man. And she was like, you know, the junk man, the one that talked funny. The junk man that talked funny. In Florence? What junk man in Florence? She's like, no, the junk man that be on TV. And so I'm like, hey man, this lady here is dumb. Right? My mother like looking at her like strange. And Mo looking at her like, yeah. And then we get in the car, we like, oh, she talking about Sanford and Son. But she young, she don't know. She's young, she's so young, she don't know. Right? She young, she don't know, but she don't know. Also, she don't know that, you know what I'm saying, I just coming off having my knee healing, my knee only been healed like 8 months, a year. You know what I'm saying? Because of, you remember I told you a couple of years ago. Remember when I was doing shows like twice a day, every day? It was because I had my knee blown out. The doctor told me not to do nothing but keep my leg.
I remember.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm just gonna be here with my leg up. I may as well do something. So yeah, she was like, you walk like the junk man, the one that talked funny on TV. We get in the car and we like, oh, she talking about Fred G. Sanford. It just tell you how young people don't know.
Oh my God, there's no care. There's no want to learn about things that came before you. Like, how do you get your style if you don't mimic?
Yeah.
At first.
Yeah.
If someone don't, like, I and people from my generations and even a little bit, younger, you can remember like that person kind of like you started to pattern yourself off of.
Yeah.
In the beginning. Like, no.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's cool. Like, you can absolutely, off the top of my head, I know who that is.
Right.
But for me, it was probably like 3 in different stages, but one in particular, like, no. I do this absolutely cool. And you veer from there. Today, it's like, y'all don't know nothing. Y'all wasn't this, y'all wasn't that. Like when you hear players, I'm a fan of the Gilbert Arenas show. I watch it. I can't lie to you because I like to hear the players express themselves.
Right. And Gilbert Arenas is a great host, by the way.
No, he's a lousy host.
No.
To me, he's a lousy host.
I'm not saying the way that he speaks. I'm talking about the way the platform's set up and the way that people are free to speak their mind and speak it fully. And then even if they even if people agree or disagree, you'll see that person come back on the next episode.
Right. You know? So I'm there with you with that. Their analysis, when they get into talking about former players and who could play, like one of my favorite, just his presence there, Swaggy P, right?
Yeah.
I don't care if Swaggy could shoot, whatever. Swaggy's just the funniest person I think I've ever seen in the NBA.
Yeah.
Just absolutely you could just sit there and just be like, yo, Swag. And
entertainment.
And he would just go on.
Yeah.
But he will go on to like grand delusions.
Yeah.
About players from yesteryear and who could guard him and who he think could guard.
Yeah.
And while he was talking, I'm like, Swag, you'd be on the bench, my guy. You're like the 8th, 9th guy.
Yeah.
If you had to come in, let's say you're Washington or he's in Washington or even his Golden State times or whatever, you're going to match up. Let's pick a team from then. 81, 82 Bucks. You're a guard. You're going to have to match up against Sidney Moncrief.
Yeah.
You don't even know who that is.
For 40 minutes.
For 40 minutes, you're going to have to match up against, you're not even going to be there for 40 minutes. I guarantee you that.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Because the younger generation don't study what came before them. When you hear And I like Edwards. But
Yeah.
when the whole thing about the new face of the league, and I've heard this man literally say he didn't know any basketball players besides KD.
Yeah.
What are you doing in this league?
Yeah.
So when a Michael Jordan, Mike is not gonna walk up to you, but let's say pick anyone from the last 10. When a Karl Malone comes up to you and is like, "Yo, man, I like the way you play," you're like, "Okay, somebody's grandfather just came over to me."
Yeah. Yeah.
Karl Malone didn't play 40 years ago. Karl Malone didn't play 30 years ago. The last time he played was like 2004, 2005.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is not a major stretch. It's part of why you have him. Oh, I don't want to be the face of the league. That may be the dumbest comment I think I've heard this year and the years early.
Right.
You don't want to be the face of the league?
What kind of comment is that? I don't.
The league is giving you the bag.
Yeah.
Right? A full case of luggage.
Yeah.
Because that's what the face of the league is.
Right.
You're one of the few young American ball players that they're thinking about pulling this around.
Right.
And you don't want it because what? It's too much what? You don't want the press, you don't want the negative energy. You don't want to be able to navigate. You want everything easy.
Right.
You remember when Doc was the face of the league?
Yeah.
Indubitably.
I remember that. I remember when Doc was the man.
Doc had all types of personal shit.
Yeah.
Right? Going on. Okay? Him, his wife, whatever, they handled it, and it never affected him being face of the league.
Right.
Why? Because he wasn't a malcontent.
Right.
These younger guys want to go out every night, get into God knows whatever.
Yeah.
And be able to wake up the next day and be like, let's do it again.
Right. Now, in a sense, I'm not gonna lie to you. In a sense, I do understand that being the face of $1 billion corporation can be stressful. It's like you don't ever have a place to hide. Like Michael Jordan could never do regular human being stuff, right? So I understand that part, but here's the part. When the direct deposit hit, you don't ever send it back, right? So I'm trying to figure out, how is it that you want that direct deposit to be bussing, right? And at the same time, you don't want to be that.
Every generation of ball players, Freezie, is supposed to push the ball. Okay? Let me use my text sharing reference. Matriculate the ball down the field, guys. You're supposed to matriculate it down.
Yeah.
Okay? Salaries are not supposed to stay the same. Privileges are not supposed to stay the same. Like, there were guys who were making $3 million not 30 years ago.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
If you don't have ambassadorship or people that's supposed to be the next, and they're like pushing for this, how does the league get better? Because look at the product now.
Right.
You running from responsibility.
Right. Right.
At some point in time, and I'm going to narrow this down because, okay, you don't want to be face of the league. Okay, no problem.
No worries. No.
In my opinion, the face of the league, but for some particular reason, this organization and the NBA right now are in a crossroads. You should have been looking to take them in the first place.
Right.
World champion. Keeps getting there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at their accomplishments. They're not on the same trajectory currently. And that's part of it. That's like when I thought about this over the last couple of weeks, I'm like, my God, the NBA, if that Luka trade didn't happen, oh my God, what would we be talking about?
Yeah.
I'm just talking about in the grand scheme of things. What are we talking about?
I'm with you. I'm with you. Nothing.
It's in a bad state. That's a bad state. The game was never like this.
Bro,
The game was just never. You got guys who are playing in the game here today who are complaining about the fact that they're taking too many threes.
Yeah.
But yet still they're living in it in real time.
Yeah. It's what happens when the nerds take over, bro. I'm telling, bro. Bro. Every time you're in an organization and the nerds take over, you know something bad is gonna happen. It's like the revenge of the nerds. It's like when you give the nerds their opportunity to, because the nerds are telling athletes how to be athletes, right? But the nerds don't know how to be an athlete, right? So the nerds are saying, hey, a dunk is worth 2, but a 3-pointer is worth 3. And you're like, on the stat sheet it is. But in a game when Vince Carter dunks all over Mutombo, that snatches momentum. And momentum can't be measured on a stat sheet. And if Bernard King is 8 for 10 in the mid-range, and you're saying, well, I'd take 5 for 10 from 3 as opposed to, or I take 6 for 10 from 3 instead of 8 for 10 from mid-range any day, you're talking about the points, but you're not talking about how that doggone Bernard King in the mid-range on another team's best defender is just breaking that defender's back out there. Can't stop him. Going to wherever he want to get to on the floor and scoring. You're not taking that into the account certain things, emotion, right? A nerd told me that you got to take emotion out of it. And so I know, you know what I told the nerd, right? Well, why do the fans show up if there's no emotion? Because if people didn't care, why go to the game?
Then why do we need the fans?
Right, that's what I'm saying. These are the things I'm talking about.
You think you're Freezie? I was early. I like the 3.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We bomb squad babies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somewhere around 2007, 8. All of a sudden, everybody wanted to buy into D'Antoni's style of play.
Yeah.
The league is working against its own players.
Yeah.
The people who are currently in the game.
Yeah.
Right? It's like having a 1985 or a 1990 Audi today. You can't find one.
No.
Why? Because the auto industry in time just decided, well, time, you got to progress and you got to move these things out the way.
Yeah.
Okay? So they're out the way, but is it for the good necessarily? Look at the big man play.
Yeah.
Outside of Embiid, who doesn't play, and Joker, okay, and my man out in Sacramento, and Cat for us, where are your bigs? Where are your skillful bigs?
AD, I just want to say this. I want to talk about Cat in that point, but I don't want to interrupt where you going.
No, we good. Boom, right there.
Nah, man, because you were cooking right there. I just wanted to put a thing out there before I forget.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound OD, right? But I think a healthy Karl Anthony Towns is the best offensive center that I've ever seen in my life. And I'm talking about healthy cat, right? I'm talking about not cat on a bum knee, not cat on a bad hand. Now, mind you, I saw the Olajuwon boy go to Houston. I saw him. I saw how raw he was when he got to Houston, right? I saw Olajuwon at Houston. I was like, man, that man, he looked to me. Now, I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound crazy, but it's the greatest compliment ever. When I saw the first time I saw Olajuwon, he looked like Bismack Biyombo.
Yes.
A non-stop energy, big rebound, everything. No, small bit of a dunker. If he didn't dunk it, he missed. And then over time, by the time he in his sophomore year, you were like, wait a minute, he's shooting 8-footers. And then by the time he came out for the draft, he was like, wait a minute, this dude has touch around the rim. And then you get in the league and he gets lost in Houston, right? Houston is up and down. Houston is kind of like the 80s Rockets with Olajuwon are kind of like.
Temper your enthusiasm now because they get to a finals.
No. That's what I know. I got you. They're like the Miami Heat, right? They were good, but then they had the potential to be great. But then every year something stupid would happen with them, right? Ralph Sampson will sprain his leg or sprain his ankle going into the playoffs, right? Or 87 when they were on the verge of taking off, their record didn't show it, but they were getting hot to take off to probably be where Portland should have been. And then Ralph Sampson messes up his knee and they trade him to Golden State. Then there's a reset. Right. But then 89, 90, Olajuwon finally puts it all together. And in 91, he is hooping in Houston, but the team's not ready. So Olajuwon's good, but the team is not. Right. And then all of a sudden, by the time we see him in 92, we're like, this guy might be better than Pat. In 92, I'm like, this guy may be better than Pat. I don't want to say it because I'm a Knicks fan. But this man, if they ever get him some talent, they got him some talent in 93. They were too young. And then 94, 95, you see what they do. By the time 96 get here, all the vets that they acquired were too old. And then Olajuwon is there. Then they had the Barkley years and all of that stuff.
But the game hadn't changed like that, though, Freezie.
His game was phenomenal, though.
No, I'm talking about for the overall big. The game hadn't changed. You know, where the league for the first 40 years, it's a big man's league. It's built around the big since Mikan all the way up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, all of a sudden, now you want your bigs to do more than control the paint.
Yeah.
Because you don't want the physicality. I'm watching the other day, and I'm sure a lot of people remember this, or if you don't, I'm going to mention it. Because you were in Houston, right? Kermit Washington in a melee turns around and almost kills Rudy Tom Johnson.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Right? Watched it the other day. It's not even a punch. It's a forearm straight bang elbow. Rudy hits the floor. Head explodes.
Yeah.
Couple days later, Rudy's like fighting for his life.
Yeah. Never the same after that. Yeah.
Never really the same after that, right?
Yeah.
The league at that time were doing features in Sports Illustrated about the enforcers, and Kermit Washington was one of those guys.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And slowly but surely, they X him out. But they still had that kind of ferocity. It's the ferocity that made the game, Freezie. We grew up in a time there could be a fight, they just break it up, send the guys to their corners, come back, the quarter starts, and the game remains.
With no free throws.
With nobody getting kicked out.
Yeah, no free throws. I saw Robert Parrish punch who was it? Robert Parrish punched somebody.
Lambert, the man hit Lambert with like 10 shots.
Yeah. And I think they teched up both of them. I think both of them got teched up. This man took 10 straight punches and got
That's it.
They got punished.
After he got out of his fetal position.
Yeah.
Because Parrish put it on him. But my point is, Freezie, you're having a problem with today's game because you put your hands and your paws all over it. You cannot no way legislate fit. If you move physicality, right, out of sports, football is having the same problems.
Yeah, hockey is having the same problem.
Hockey's having the same problems.
Yeah.
This is high risk, high reward.
Baseball is having the same problem. Like, dudes legit hit home runs now, stand at home plate and watch it go over the fence and do backflips and do all these things as they run around the bases. And the pitcher can't retaliate because
because all of the sports, they just for somehow, I don't know if they collectively had a meeting and decided that they were just gonna put the nerds in charge, and then you have a movie about with the A's and what they did, Moneyball, and whatever the F that movie was, whatever. Like, everybody can't be like that.
Yeah.
You think George Steinbrenner was going to be like that with the New York Yankees as his prize? He's going to sit around here and cheap it out and not spend, which was his problem with the league in the first place. His problem was like, yo, this is not arbitration and free agency. It's like, yo, when we collective bargain, right? When we share the money, you guys don't spend the money back on the franchise.
Right.
You put it in your pocket. And he's like, yo, you want me to take my MSG money, or before MSG, Sports Channel, right? You want me to take my Sports Channel money and give y'all all a cut of this because y'all sports situation is ridiculous?
And the dude that owned the Nuggets was a part owner of Pepsi. He was a part owner of Pepsi, bro. And then the dude before him was on the biggest trucking company in the nation, right? And you telling me these dudes don't have money to put back in their team? Nah, I think it was clearly racism, right? For the NBA, it was racism, right? Now for baseball, it was just cheapskates. Right now, but for the NBA, it was racism. Like, man, we ain't paying these dudes $1 million. You think you Reggie Jackson?
That's why they were on tape delay. That's part of the reason why they were on tape delay, because nobody was watching the product.
You're right. But
once you got people to watch the product, Freezie, when you get a godsend bird, magic, black, white, right? You take that marketing, West Coast first, East Coast. Yeah. It felt like they were on like at least 2 Sundays a month.
Oh, 2, yeah. Oh, God.
Right? They were just all of a sudden and then you galvanize behind that, and it's now a team thing, right?
Yeah.
Boston, and you lost that, Freezie.
And you had to pick a side too, by the way.
Yes, but then you had a lot of other little battles, you had Atlanta, Detroit.
Yep.
Okay? Philly, Milwaukee.
Yep.
Okay? You had LA, Houston, LA, Dallas. You had like rivalries.
Yeah. You had New York, Boston never went away. New York, Boston was the thing since the beginning.
And the league just slowly just kept picking at it because, it's not fun basketball to watch. Who wants to watch 80 to 85? I bet you if you put those ratings on today against these ratings today, I bet you those ratings are better.
Yeah, and no doubt. I think technology probably ruined the product too, and then overexposure, saturation. I think probably ruined it because there's no lore. Like there is no legendary things. Like I could if AD missed a game Friday night, I could tell AD my version of the game. I could be like, and Brunson jumped over two people and spit in the air. And then when that girl jumped in the air with him and passed him a cigarette, I can tell my version of it. But now when everything is out there, you see it, you like, okay. So Jalen Brunson is not really 6'5". He's a normal man's height, right? And so you're like, man, so Magic Johnson is not really 6'11". He's 6'8". Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so the other part to it, AD, is this. That intensity that you talked about, that takes away from teams being rivals. And nowadays, you don't know if teams are rivals or not. You just know that they're competitive against each other.
Are they?
Yeah, these are built up rivalries. These are not, because rivalries.
Sure. Name your rivalry today.
We don't have none.
You don't have one.
Right. That's
the last rivalry we had was Cleveland Golden State, right? Because they met in the finals a couple of times, right? And before that was Boston, Miami.
Yeah.
There's no more rivals. There's no more hate.
I was gonna say the last true rivalry I felt like was blood, sweat, and tears rivalry. Pacers and Pistons.
Okay.
Like the Jermaine O'Neal Pacers versus the Ben Wallace. They legitimately did not like each other. Period. They did not like each other. If you ask me which rivalry was more intense, Knicks and Pacers or Pacers and Pistons, I'm going Pacers and Pistons, bro. Right. And the reason why I say that is because when you watch those games, and I'm not talking about the malice in the palace. That was somebody stupid did something at a game, and regardless what NBA team that event happened at, you would have had that happen anywhere.
Yes.
Right. Now, if a fan would have, who was it?
You're selling alcohol.
Yeah. If that was
nonstop, there's no limits to this.
Right. If that would happen in the Garden, who was he in 2004? Who was it?
Marbury, Quentin Richardson.
Yeah. Now imagine.
Don't do that to me. Oh my God. Flashback. I had a flashback, Eddie. Oh dear God, don't do that to me, Freezie.
Imagine a Nick laying on the table, just waiting for something, and a fan just hit an opposing team player in 2004 with a cup of beer in the Garden. Man, we'd have still been rebuilding the Garden right now, brick by brick.
Yeah.
And so the Malice in the Palace part to me is a byproduct of something stupid that happened that night. But their rivalry was crazy before that.
I've been building up.
Yeah. Because truth be told, and I'll say this publicly, and no disrespect to the Pistons, but y'all headed our way for the playoffs, and I'm gonna start my shit talking now. The Pacers were better than the Pistons.
It was close, but they were more talented. The Pacers, man for man, they're one of those teams. I think we talked about this like maybe a couple of years ago when we first came on. They're one of those teams, Freezie, that should have been in the finals.
They should have. And the thing about it is, they didn't just get good. They had been good since
Yeah.
the Knicks fell off, right? Remember the Pacers. Remember the Knicks lost to the Pacers. What year was that? 2001? Was that 2000 or 2001?
That's 2000, I think. That's the
That's
last time before the 54, before we played them, 54 win season. So yeah, that's like
yeah,
2000.
right. The Pacers were good in 2000,
Yeah.
and we're talking about 4 years later, Malice in the Palace, or the Pistons were the champs in what 2004, right? Was it 2000?
Oh, I think that's
2008. Or was it 2008?
I think that's 5. Somewhat. The
The
Pacers
08
played the
Pistons.
Lakers in 2000. I think that's 5. I think.
The Pacers had been good that entire time. Remember, they lost in the finals to the Lakers.
Yeah.
2001?
They were doing kind of, that's 2000, 2001, but they were doing kind of like this rebuild with Reggie Miller still on the team.
Right. But they were adding young pieces. They were
adding young pieces, and they had finally seemed like everything is there. Look, people may not want to, admit to this or whatever, but at that moment in time, Ron Artest is one of the 15 best players in the league.
Yes.
Just his physicality that he brought. He could shoot the three a little.
Yeah.
He could post up. He could take you off the dribble. And then it was a nightmare on the other side of the floor. You trying to get yours against him because he was straight. He's just one of those guys that's like, yo, give me some more. Hit me in the face again.
Right.
He's one of those guys that hit me in the face again.
Right, because that get him going.
Because that get him going.
Yeah.
I remember that Houston team, that Sacramento team that when he was on that Sacramento team.
The split color jersey.
Yeah, with him and Bonzi Wells for a minute. They didn't eventually go anywhere, but they were entertaining because he was so entertaining.
Yep.
And he was, you would think, you the Knicks right around that time, you sucked the high heaven. This man is a star, okay? He's potentially going to be out of the league, right?
And
there for the taking, and yet still, you somehow don't find a way to get Artest before he's 38 years old and nobody cares.
Bro, the fact that the Pacers were trying to give him away for a second-round pick.
After that, remember, he goes like 2 other teams. Was it Houston, then Sacramento? Or was it Sacramento, then Houston?
Right, and then the weird thing happens where it's like Kobe loses in the finals, and Ron Artest is like, "Hey, come get me, bro, and I'll win you a championship." And the Lakers went and got Ron Artest for nothing, right? And they win 2 more championships. Ron Artest, Pau Gasol.
Solidifies their back-to-back.
Yep. And the Knicks were drafting dudes like John Thomas, and couldn't have gave that pick to the Pacers for Ron Artest.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous.
That's why my patience is so short. Like, Knicks fans are optimistic now, and I'm like, yeah, I'm optimistic. I go to games, right? I represent the Knicks and all of that. But then there are some things you're like, why didn't we just go get this guy
when we could have? Why is it every March for the last however long we're snake bit?
Yeah.
It's like, but you have to, you know what? Sometimes, Freezie, you just really got to persevere.
Yeah.
Okay. And you really have to be able to pivot. There's no pivot from a Jalen Brunson injury. It just is what it is.
It's what it is.
See what I'm saying? Like, we hope that he's going to be gone only 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah. He's going to be gone. Yeah, but we hope.
You know what I'm saying? We hope by the end of this he's back, and knowing him and the kind of heart and kind of plays, whatever, he probably trying to play right now. He probably trying to work out right now. They got to slow him down. Like, you know what? Relax.
Right.
The boot is still on.
Sid
But
Miz,
that's just what it is.
Sid Miz. And another thing. Shout out to my shout out.
Salute.
Hey, shout out to
Salute
my
to Sid
brother.
Miz.
No. And another thing. Say, y'all check out Sid Miz on social media, man. That's one of my favorite follows, man. Every time I see it, I just hit the heart button. Sight unseen. Sight unseen. I just hit the heart button for him, man.
Salute, Sid.
Yeah.
But here's what we don't want, Freezie. We don't want to lose the moment.
Right.
Those teams, for whatever reason, they fell. They couldn't rebound.
Right.
Couldn't recapture the moment.
Right.
We've seen this a lot of times. Look at Memphis a couple of years ago. They were walking around chest all out. Like they won something because they got to a second round and played Golden State decent.
Yeah. They like, we up next. We up next.
Yeah, we up next.
Right.
Lost that. We've seen this time and time again, time and time again throughout the years.
Right.
It can happen.
You can't take stuff for granted.
No, you cannot. So when I've been on these airwaves and I'm tough on the kid, and it's not nothing personal, Pacum Daddy.
Yeah.
But I'm not killing the brother. What I'm saying is that we're just on two different time levels.
Yeah.
What is you sitting on the bench doing for us exactly? Doing for you exactly? Besides having the best seat in the house.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? We're just on two different. We just are.
Yeah. Yeah.
He may be a great player in the next 5-6 years. 5-6 years from now, Jalen Brunson will not look like this.
No.
5-6 years from now, Cat would not look like this.
AD, since you say that about Cat, let me throw my Cat thing in here real quick.
Throw it on him, brother.
It's not often that a team will get a player that's as talented as Karl Anthony Towns, right? And here's the thing. Now, AD and I have this conversation all the time about talent, durability, and heart, right? We have this conversation all the time because people may have the durability and heart and may not have the talent, like John Starks, an average talent guy, but his heart and durability overcome a lot of different things, right? And John Starks is probably a top 3 Knick for me, right? Pat, Clyde, and Starks, right? But Karl Anthony Towns has an offensive skill set that is built in a lab, right? No NBA center in today's game can guard Cat off the dribble, right? Now, is he gonna sauce you up and go in multiple directions? No, right? Right. Can he go and? But I saw him the other day. AD, we were playing. Who were we playing the other day? It was the Lakers, I think. And I saw that man go by the Lakers small forward, bro. And it was like if they didn't foul him going to the rim, Cat would have broke 7 backboards during that game, right? And you coupled that with his 3-point shooting and his touch from the free throw line. Like legitimately, Karl Anthony Towns is the second best free throw shooter as a center of all time. The only center better with a higher free throw percentage than Cat is Jack Sigma, right? And what we do for Cat offensively, to me, is a historically tragic crime where the coach that when Cat goes to the line or goes to the rim, the coach doesn't even stand up. A Cat get mugged all the way to the rim. He don't say a thing. Jalen Brunson get mugged going to the rim. He don't say a thing except play through it. Man, you got to be tough and play through it. No, coach. You got to stand up for your guy. right? The one guy, AD, the one time Tom Thibodeau got a tech for standing up for Cat. Cat finished the game with 43 points and 20 rebounds. Right? You remember the game that Tom Thibodeau got teched up for screaming that they mugging Cat?
Yeah.
He got teched up for it, right? In that game, Cat finished the game with 43 points and 20 rebounds. Now, mind you, 43 points in today's NBA, okay. That's not super impressive because every night in the NBA, somebody's going to score 40 points, it seems like, nowadays. Nowadays, in a scoring era, somebody's going to score 40 every night. It's not like back in the day when somebody scored 40 and you talked about it for like a month, right? Ultimately, what I'm saying is this: Jalen Brunson is 28 years old. Cat is 29 years old. We think the future is bright, but both of these guys are one birthday away from being old in NBA years, right? It's not like when Magic came out and you turned 30, right? But you only had 7 years in the league or 8 years in the league because you came out as a sophomore or junior or senior out of college, right?
Mm-hmm.
These dudes, Karl Anthony Towns was drafted at 19 years old. So when he turns 30, that means he's played 11 NBA seasons, bro.
Right.
And ultimately, what I'm saying and what I'm getting at is we have to take advantage of this window that we're in right now. AD, we have to win it, bro.
We do, but let me piggyback on Cat for a minute. Pause. Right. I've said this on this airwaves. I think the sky's the limit with Cat. Okay. I think he's that talented offensively.
Right.
Defensively, he's a work in progress, but I'm just talking about offensively.
I'm talking about offensively, yeah.
Right. Here's my thing with Cat. And it's some of Cat's fault, it's some of Brunson's fault, and it's some of Tibbs' fault. And it's a lot, again, brought back around, a lot of Cat's fault.
Right.
Early in the season, when no one is injured and everyone outside of Embiid and everybody is fresh and whatever, it looked great. Right? Very good. Now we're in the dog days of the season.
Yeah.
He's been banged up, right? He's falling in love too much with his outside capabilities. When you got, let's use the Clippers game the other night. You know how many times I saw James Harden on Karl Anthony Towns on the wing? It's like, am I seeing things? Am I nearsighted or farsighted? Is that a 6'5" man guarding a 6'11", 7-foot man on consecutive possessions? And you didn't reverse the ball to get it to him? Or better yet, he is not demanding the ball.
Right.
This is a part of the Cat thing here that we've got. In order for us to win it, he's got to know when I got to get the ball.
Right.
And I have to lay this physicality. I got to make you wish you never thought about putting James Harden on me.
Right.
Okay? You put James Harden on me, you get me the ball, I score 2 times on it. Next time you try that, they're going to come with a hard double. Pause.
Right. Right.
Right? When you fall in love with shooting the 3, well, hell, I could guard you from way out there. James Harden don't want to guard anyway. So all you did was did him a favor.
Right.
Can you shoot the 3? Hell yeah, you can.
Right.
Before your thumb was hurt, were you like automatic? Yeah.
Automatic, bro. Automatic.
But that was then. This is now.
Right.
The overtime game that they lost to, was that LA?
Yeah.
From 7 minutes or maybe 6. Somebody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. About 6 or 7 minutes into overtime, Cat's on the floor and he's not getting the ball. And when he's getting the ball, or when he got the ball a couple times, he's just throwing up threes.
Yep.
He literally disappeared out of this game.
Hey, and I want to speak to that too, though. That's the reason why. That's the reason. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up, AD. That's what I want. That's what I was wanting to get to. When you have a talent the caliber of Karl-Anthony Towns on offense, we know his defense, his rim protection is terrible. His man defense is, when you ask him to guard another man, it's pretty good. But when you ask him to be a rim protector, it's terrible. Right? Terrible. Right? But here's the thing. If you have a weapon the likes of a Karl-Anthony Towns, you have to let him be Chuck Person. Right? You have to let him be Dominique Wilkins. Right? You have to let him be Chris Mullin. You have to let him be Mitch Richmond. You have to let him be the all offense guy and deal with the defense that's not going to be there anyway, because regardless if he's scoring or not, his defense is still, rim protection is still going to be bad. Regardless if he's shooting the ball or not, it's still going to be bad. Right? So you got to give this dude the opportunity to be, like, nobody ever questioned Chris Mullin's defense. Right? We know he was going to be, he wasn't going to play defense. Right? The thing is with Cat, like in that game that you mentioned, AD, that man took 13 shots in a 53-minute game.
Yeah.
Right. And that man took 8 shots before I think it was 8 shots before the fourth quarter. So the fourth quarter on in the overtime, that man took 5 shots.
That's ridiculous.
And some of those shots he took that you mentioned, they were frustration threes. You saw it on his face. You're like, how do y'all get Cat in Cat's face? It's like, how do y'all come down the floor without Jalen Brunson? I'm here. And Deuce McBride is going to throw up a contested 3 in the corner and not even look at cycling the ball around. Why is Josh Hart getting the ball to OG Anunoby? And Cat has a mismatch on him.
God, this is not Switzerland.
Right.
This share should know at some point in time, you can't go that long of a stretch of time, Freezie. Half of the fourth quarter and then the entire overtime and look like that can't get him the ball in comfortable positions. That's ridiculous.
Right. And people were telling me on the show that we did previously that the pick and roll is the answer. The pick and roll is not the answer. When your pick and roll ball handler is not a threat, when your pick and roll ball handler is not a threat, you can't run the pick and roll in that sense because nobody's going to even be threatened by that guy. Everybody is going to put their hands on the roll guy and just stay with the roll guy. You remember when Randall and Elfrid Payton tried to run the pick and roll and Elfrid Payton would turn the corner and the seas would part like the Red Sea?
Yeah.
And everybody would be on Randall. And we'd be at the game telling Elfrid Payton to shoot it. Shoot it!
Yeah.
And he wouldn't. And you like, why are you running the pick and roll if you're not a threat?
Yeah. Here's my problem with Tibbs in this area and in others. He doesn't run screens to anyone else besides Brunson.
Right.
Outside of that,
meaningful screens.
Meaningful screens.
We're talking about meaningful. We're not talking about dummy screens.
Like play setting.
Yeah.
Like legitimate. It doesn't do it. It doesn't do it enough.
Yeah.
Doesn't do it enough. When you okay. Let me stop there. Cat is a face-up center. That's where he's most comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. But you also have a back-to-the-basket game. Why cut it out? You understand? If a 6'5" man knows that he could push you past the pinch post line, he's gonna do it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can turn and go and maybe go by him, but look at in certain moves and situations when he has to do that, he really is getting a lot of body contact. You see Cat falling sometimes and like, whoa, that was a hard one. Whoa, like that didn't really make any sense to me. You're 7 feet tall. Make it more easier for yourself sometimes. Mix it up.
Yeah.
You're falling way too in love with the Coco past the 3-point line.
In love with the Coco.
What are you in love with the Coco?
In love with the Coco, bro.
I saw him get the ball. The man shot the ball in like 0.1.
Yeah, but and it's because they wouldn't let him touch it.
I'm like, what is that?
Yeah,
that almost looked like it was a spike. Like he just had like.
Yeah, but the thing is, the reason why he can't do it, AD, is because our team is flawed in a disgusting way. Our flaw is that our best 2 offensive players are our best 2 3-point shooters. Right. So when Cat touches the ball, there is no spacing on the floor because the other guys can't shoot. And when Brunson has the ball, there is no spacing because the other guys can't shoot. Josh Hart shoots 31%. That would have been good in 1984. It's not good now. Right? OG is shooting 36 and Mikal Bridges is shooting 35. In an era where there are at least 25 people in the NBA shooting 40% from 3.
Shooting 40%.
And there are at least, last I checked, there are like 80 guys shooting 39% from 3 or higher. Last I checked. Now that number may be different now. It may be more, maybe less. But in an era where teams are shooting the 3-pointer better than ever, we're shooting the 3-pointer worse than ever from the guys that need the 3-point spacing. Like when Brunson's on the floor, right? When Brunson's on the floor and Cat sets a screen up top, right? And Cat gets that direct look at the rim as Brunson is attacking the rim, right? 2 things occur, right? Cat is the designated spot-up shooter and his favorite spot on that. But we don't have an attacking athlete off the weak side that Jalen Brunson can throw that lob to keep defenses honest, right? Like I'm going to draw this picture for AD, and AD knows this offense well, right? All right. So the Supersonics had a player named Irvin Johnson, right? Not Magic, Irvin Johnson. His father named him after Irvin Johnson and spelled it different, right? He would set a screen for Gary Payton, and Gary Payton would turn that corner, they used to kill Golden State with it. Golden State had 2 guys, Victor Alexander and Chris Gatlin. You remember Chris Gatlin, the one
Gatlin was pretty good off the bench, man.
Yeah.
Gatlin was, the funniest thing is he never wanted to start.
Never wanted to start because he knew his role. Right. So here's the thing. The Sonics would put them in jeopardy because do you give up the little floater to Gary Payton, or do you give the lob to the super athlete that was crashing from that side to catch a lob in the half court? Right. So you give up that little floater to Gary Payton 2, 3, 4, 5 times after a while. Coach is like, okay, that's enough. Stop it. And as soon as they come up to crash on Gary Payton tries to throw the ball up in the ceiling because there's only one guy in the arena that could go get that ball out the ceiling and finish. And that was Sean Kemp. Right? And so what happens is with us, we don't have a guy on the floor that can screen as good as Cat does. Because the one thing Knicks fans don't give Cat credit for is his screening. Last year when we had Hartenstein and Mitch screening, we were like, they don't even screen. What are you doing? You don't screen, you don't roll, you don't catch. Why are you even out there?
But here's my thing with Cat though, with that. Not just with Cat, but with that, let me say with the play, right? He's always flaring to go above the 3-point line. when he sets this when he sets the screen
first, though.
Yeah, when he's setting this when it's a hard screen, right? And he's catching the guard of the wing, whatever. He basically wants them to give him like 32 inches, right? Pause. So he can from his favorite spot, which is dead on.
Yeah, straight on. The build-in is what we call
it. They never do something where they're creating the mismatch for him.
Right.
Or he's not looking to be like, I got you on my back.
Right.
He'd rather be straight up with you.
In that moment when Brunson is looking to score.
Yeah, but
Brunson's looking to score, yeah.
But I'm talking about when he gets it.
Right.
Right? Or if he doesn't take the shot, then he's gonna drive. And like I before mentioned, how he falls and whatever happens a lot of times. He works harder than he has to sometimes. That's basically what I'm saying. They work too hard to get him the ball, or they don't work hard enough to get him the ball. But excuse me.
They don't space well enough. And
no.
The reason being, AD, to that is two things.
He's too happy with the jump shot.
But he's a great shooter, AD.
Yes, but he's too happy with it. When you got a mismatch, Freezie. All right. Remember when we used to have this term "mouse in the house"?
Yeah.
What did that mean? Little dude, I'm taking you.
But AD, that's you're speaking to my point though. What I'm saying is, even when Cat gets the ball in the post, like against the Celtics when he had Drew Holiday in his back, right? You know what Josh Hart did on that play? I'm talking about this one specific play, but it typified everything that happened in the game. When Cat had the ball in the post, he had the mismatch, Drew Holiday on him, right? You know what Josh Hart did? Josh Hart posted up Kristaps Porzingis 4 feet away from Cat. AD, when have you ever seen Josh Hart post up a player and score on them in the post?
No, not like that. You're supposed to clear.
You're supposed to clear it out. This is what I'm saying.
You're supposed to clear.
Now Deuce McBride, a bench guard, is trying to figure out, how do I get Cat the ball right here when Porzingis is going to trap as soon as Cat touch it, right? Because first of all, Josh Hart is 6'4", posting up a guy 7'3".
What sense does that make?
On the same side. Now think about that. Like, he's posting him up right there, right? And Cat is posting up Drew Holiday from about here to your cabinet over there. Right.
But not to cut you, Freezie, but here's part of the thing. Remember me? You was talking yesterday, and I was telling you I was watching the Western Conference Finals with Kemp and Barkley, right? Yeah. Barkley's 6'4", Kemp is 6'10".
Yeah.
Barkley's the main dude. Kemp is the main dude.
Right.
As you're in the fourth quarter, I think Barkley finishes with like 45 and 25. Kemp got fouled out with 14 points.
Yeah.
When you're that guy, Freezie, okay, and Barkley's taking it to your interior,
yeah,
okay, on the other side of the court, you're doing what? He's guarding you.
Yeah.
They're not even doubling you. It wasn't doubling him.
Yeah.
But he's so psyched out, and this is what I don't want from Cat. Because it's going to come down to it where we're going to really need you in them tough playoff fourth quarter minutes. If the three is not going, what are we going to see? Are we going to see Minnesota last year?
Again, yo, did you see Cat? Did you see Cat in Game 7 against Denver last year?
Yes, but I'm talking about after. I'm talking about against Minnesota when the three wasn't clicking. He was just disdain for the three. When you got Conley saying, well, we telling them we want him to go down low or we want him more.
That was bullshit. They ain't talking. I was watching those games, bro.
But what did your eye test tell you, Freezie? What did your eye test tell you in that miniseries?
The eye test told me that Minnesota is built awkwardly. And I'm telling you right now, the Knicks are built awkwardly. The point that I'm trying to get to you is this. Either you have to have athletes dunking at the rim, or you have to have 3-point shooters that are gonna make teams pay if they double anybody on the floor.
But that means he's limited then, Freezie.
No,
From your analogy, that means he's limited, and he can only score if you have it like this, or if you know that means he's limited.
That's not what I'm saying. I don't think you listen to me. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is Pat Ewing never won a championship because he never had a consistent offensive player, a second fiddle guy in the offense with him. Pat Ewing never.
That's not fair. That's not fair, Freezie. That's not fair, Freezie. You know that's not fair, Freezie. You know, okay. I love Pat. I love Pat like you do, Freezie.
I don't know.
I still watch Game 7.
Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen.
Hold on, but did you look at that Houston series, Freezie? Who did Elijah have like that coming into? I'm not talking about as the series plays on. I'm talking about coming into the series. Look at them man for man.
What did they have? Right. See, that's the thing. I'm mentioning it, and you acknowledge it. I don't think you want to give me credit for it. But I don't want credit. Right. When you're saying,
look at their starting five and our starting five.
AD, listen, you asked me the question 3 times, and I'm trying to answer it. What I'm telling you is what Houston had with Olajuwon was not a second great player, but they had floor spacing. Whenever you doubled Olajuwon, they would knock down 3-pointers. You know this. We've talked about it for years now. That every time they doubled Olajuwon would kick that ball out to the top of the key.
You're giving Pat a way out.
Oh my God, what are we talking about?
You're giving Pat a way out. You are.
What are we talking about?
You are. You're giving Pat a way out.
So now the Houston Rockets didn't knock down.
Look at no, Freezie. Look at their guards. Up until Game 7, look at their guards. AD, their guards were almost non-existent.
AD, let's.
You're talking about their backline players. You're talking about Cassell. You're talking about Ellie.
You moving the goalposts. I'm talking about one thing at a time is what I'm talking about.
But they had no spacing, Freezie, because their guys at attack was they.
So you didn't see Robert Horry. You didn't see Robert Horry hitting threes at the top of the key in that series.
He hit a couple, Freezie, but it wasn't like that was the reason why Olajuwon was killing us when they had to switch off of him and put Mason on him.
Patrick Ewing 5 blocks.
Look at Pat's offensive numbers, Freezie. You always do this, Freezie. I love Pat as much as you do.
I don't even know what
I love Pat as much as you do. He doesn't have a good game. He doesn't have a good Game 6 or a good Game 7.
You got it. You won. Because I don't even know what we're talking about. And we moved to so many different topics just now. I don't even know how to follow.
You were talking about, Freezie, as far as how Olajuwon was able to get his because of their spacing. That's what you said. You can rewind the tape. That's an example of what you're talking about.
The point we were talking about Karl Anthony Towns.
Yes.
Right. We were talking about Cat. Right.
Yes.
And we were talking about why Cat doesn't punish defenses when he has a mismatch. That's what we were talking about.
Correct.
Right? And I'm telling you, the reason why he doesn't punish double teams, right, is because and punish defenses is because Josh Hart can't shoot. OG Anunoby is a streaky shooter.
Too simple.
Mikal Bridges is a streaky offensive player.
Too simple.
Right.
Too simple. Too simple, Freezie.
Right. And so when that happens, teams can afford to double team because no other Knick outside of Jalen Brunson can make them pay.
Freezie, that's too simple, Freezie. Okay, we just talked about the last couple games that he played and why he's actually way too much depending on the 3-point shot. He's just taking it.
No, you said that. I never said that.
Yeah, but that's the actuality. He's just taking it. You haven't seen a post presence out of him in the last 3 games.
AD.
Chat, am I lying? Where's the last 3 games? Have you seen a post presence out of him?
AD, that's not accurate, bro. This man is taking 5 threes a game. What are we talking about? I mean,
Show me his numbers. Show me his numbers for the last 2 games. How many threes he took the last 2 games? Last 3.
The last 3 games. Okay, I'll show it, bro. That's what I just happen.
He is averaging at least 8. At least 8 the last 3 games, if not more.
AD, you wrong, bro. I'm trying to get you away because you're wrong.
I could be wrong. There's nothing wrong with being wrong, baby. Nothing wrong with being wrong, baby. I could be wrong.
This is the number.
I'm not trying to be wrong. I'm trying to be right.
That's the number right there. Look at that. And on March 2nd, he took 4 threes. Right? On March 6th, he took 6 threes. And on March 7th, he took 7 threes. That's the game Jalen Brunson missed. Right? That man is taking 5.7 threes in the last 3 games, AD. That's what I've been telling you. The cat taking too many threes thing is false. That man does not shoot the ball that much. Bro, that's what I've been trying to tell you the whole time. The man, when he catches the ball, bro, the man can't get into a shot because we don't have floor spaces on the floor. You know what? You know who has been taking that many threes? OG Anunoby. Right? That's why I was trying to get you. And not that I need to be right. I don't care nothing about that. What I'm saying is the thing with Cat is this. Oh, well, wait. What happened here? Hold on. Okay. All right. So the thing with Cat is we're so used to our big men not being able to shoot that when they do shoot, we're like, oh, wait a minute, that's a novelty. Cat is shooting less than 6 threes a game. Right? With Jalen Brunson out, that number did an uptick because Jalen Brunson is out. It's not when Jalen Brunson is.
He's only been out the 1 game, Freezie.
No, AD. Remember he left a game injured.
You're right.
Right. So my thing is with Cat is my thing is Cat should probably get more touches, like you mentioned, demand the ball. In those moments, that's where I agree. But where I disagree with you is that Cat gets those mismatches and doesn't exploit them. And the reason why he doesn't is because Tom Thibodeau's philosophy is the game will tell you what to do. So if you get double teamed, pass that ball to another player, an open man, and allow them to do something. In my mind, Cat is the better player, regardless what the defense is. Cat should exploit that because Cat is the more talented player, right? I don't want to see Josh Hart creating off the dribble when Cat has Rui Hachimura on him and Josh Hart is out there trying to get a shot up over Jared Vanderbilt. I don't want to see that, bro, because Josh Hart's not that guy, right? If we lived in a world where Josh Hart shot 38% from 3, and Mikal Bridges shot 38% from 3, you wouldn't see these weird exotic defenses where you put a small guy on Cat and then double him with another big guy.
Freezie. Oh, I'm with you with it, Freezie. Okay, but you're giving him, you're taking away the responsibility from his attack. You really are, because he's like I said earlier, he's comfortable facing you. And at times he drifts too far. And if you're not taking advantage of the matchup, then what you do is, Freezie, then you create a shot clock problem. So now Josh Hart gets the ball back in a place where he's not supposed to be. What is he then supposed to do with the ball? If you're down 3-4 seconds left.
He's supposed to go somewhere and sit his ass down.
Yeah. Right. I gotta go, Freezie.
Yeah, man. Because the thing is, just real quick, because Real King made a point, and I'm glad he mentioned it. He said, Julius Randle got his shot off just fine. But you know what? He had that. You know what Randle had that Cat doesn't have? Dante.
Fair.
The Knicks all-time 3-point leader in a season.
Fair.
He does not have that.
Absolutely.
Dante would be a difference maker. So
We gotta leave it right there, Freezie.
Jets fans, Yankees fans, what's good, Yankees fans?
Fans, Nick Nation, thank you very much for joining us again on this Sunday. We don't know where this show started, but once again, we know where it ended. It ended with you. Look for me and Freezie in the whirlwind. Garvey.
Garvey. Where's the thing at? Where's Garvey at? I have it listed as Garvey. There it is.
Yeah. Look out your window. Knicks fans is on your block. Y'all know the Knicks run the city. Pull them shades back. Look out your window. Look down there on the block. That's Knicks fans right there. It's about that time. It's about that time of the week where you get ready for your work week with the man that is so smooth he does not require a chaser. Your main man, the real, still the real Anthony D, and your main man